Nashville Superspeedway, lap 192, a restart that's about to blow the entire NASCAR world apart. Austin Dillon tracks Brad Keselowski down the apron, makes contact, and sends him straight into the wall. Immediately, Brad's spotter is screaming over the radio that it was intentional. Moments later, Brad himself goes on live TV and calls it deliberate payback. And NASCAR? NASCAR looks at every single piece of data they have, every angle, every radio transmission, every piece of telemetry, and then they do absolutely nothing. No penalty, no punishment, nothing. So how is that possible? But before we break it all down real quick, if you're a true NASCAR fan like me, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. NASCAR Nation News is just getting started, and we're pushing toward our next subscriber milestone. If you love real conversations from fans who live and breathe the sport every week, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it, because trust me, the beginning of this story matters. It starts on lap 145. At first, nobody saw it coming. There's a bottleneck developing on pit entry coming down the front stretch. Brad Keselowski slides low and essentially stalls Austin Dillon's lane. A split second later, Dillon spins off the nose of Keselowski's car. And in real time, Austin Dillon immediately points the finger at Brad. He thinks he knows exactly what happened. And more importantly, he isn't forgetting it. Now stick with me here, because this is where things start getting complicated. 47 laps go by, 47 laps. 47 laps of sitting in that race car, thinking, replaying the incident, stewing over what happened. Then the field bunches up for a restart. There's traffic everywhere. A stack up develops on the apron, and Dillon follows Keselowski right down to the bottom of the track. They make contact. Brad goes into the wall, race over, and that's when everything changed. TJ Majors, Brad's spotter, immediately gets on the radio and says exactly what millions of fans watching at home are already thinking. That was intentional. That was payback. Brad doesn't hesitate either. During the Prime Video broadcast, he tells the world he believes Dillon wrecked him on purpose. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about a racing incident anymore. It's about intent. And in NASCAR, that's where things get really messy. However, there was one problem. NASCAR wasn't relying on opinions. They went straight to the data. Senior Director of Racing Communications Amanda Ellis later explained everything on the official Hauler Talk podcast. According to Ellis, NASCAR competition strategist Scott Miller pulled all the SMT data. That's the telemetry that tracks throttle, braking, and driver inputs. They also reviewed radio communications from both teams at the exact moment of contact. So what did they find? What happened next surprised a lot of people. Both drivers were off the throttle. In fact, Dillon had gone from 100% throttle coming off turn 4 all the way down to just 17% at the point of contact. According to Ellis, NASCAR realized pretty quickly that this wasn't a case of Dillon staying in the gas and driving through Keselowski. The conclusion? Racing incident. Case closed, at least according to NASCAR. But here's the thing. The debate didn't stop there, because it wasn't only NASCAR defending the call. Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Steve Lidarte were calling the race for Prime Video. These are two people who know exactly what intentional retaliation looks like. And Dale Jr., he wasn't buying the intentional wreck narrative either. His view was pretty simple. Did Austin Dillon care that Brad ended up in the wall? Probably not. Did he actively try to put him there? Dale doesn't think so. He pointed to the bigger picture. RCR has been through a rough stretch lately. And realistically, the last thing that organization needs is a driver intentionally wrecking competitors and creating even more problems. For Dale, the situation just didn't add up. But then something unexpected happened. TJ Majors wasn't backing down, not even a little. On Tuesday, he appeared on the Dale Jr. download and doubled down completely. His argument was straightforward, and honestly, you can hear the conviction in his voice. He believes Dillon tracked Keselowski the entire way through the corner, that Dillon saw where Brad was going, followed him there, and simply never lifted. Majors put it as plainly as possible. I would have lifted. To him, the body language of the car tells the entire story. And honestly, you can understand why he feels that way. Watch the replay in slow motion. There really is a moment where it looks like Dillon finds Keselowski on the apron and just stays committed to that line. It's the kind of replay that makes people hit rewind again and again, because every time you watch it, you think you see something different. But here's the counter argument, and this is what Dale Jr. kept coming back to. At the same time all of this is happening, Noah Gragson is sliding up the racetrack. Dillon may have simply been running out of room, not hunting somebody down. The SMT data supports that theory. Off the throttle, not driving through them, not staying in the gas. And that's ultimately why NASCAR made the decision they did. No fine, no probation, no points penalty, no suspension, nothing. And that is what's setting the NASCAR world on fire right now. Because this debate goes way beyond one incident. It comes down to a question NASCAR has struggled with forever. How do you prove intent? The numbers tell one story. The replay tells another, and the people involved are convinced they know what happened. So now the question goes to you. Did NASCAR make the right call? Should this have been ruled a racing incident and left alone? Or do you think the SMT data only tells part of the story? Do TJ Majors and Brad Keselowski know exactly what they saw? Let me know down in the comments. And don't hold back, because this conversation is far from over. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News, and turn on notifications. We're here every week, breaking down the stories that actually matter to real NASCAR fans. Until next time, keep your foot in it.